Now, here's another clue, though, that the Daily Mail points to, and also the Screen Rant has latched on, is these two, what they say is 80s, vintage 80s vehicles spotted parked alongside a curb of this, set. Take a look. So first, we've got the 1987 Lotus Esprit Turbo. That's a scene here. Now, a strong connection to the 1980s other than having come out there. It was featured in 1981's For Your Eyes Only. James Bond drove the car in that film. And of course, you've got the iconic 1982 Pontiac Trans Am here, which also was the car upon which KITT in the show Knight Rider was based. They modified the nose a little bit because Glenn Larson, who created Knight Rider, also created Battlestar Galactica, and he really liked that Cylon Raider, eye, that red sort of probing eye that would go back and forth. That's why we see it in both shows. So the Pontiac had to be modified to have that in the nose there. Other than that, it's this car that you see in this picture here. Now, two cars do not make, a 1980s film. If this were to be set in the 1980s, I would imagine we'd see a street filled of them, often seen set in cities. Cars are lined with cars, or streets rather, are lined with the cars from the decade. You may even see some, actually driving back and forth. No, instead, I have a different theory. And this is where my co-hosts and friends, Kat and John, differed with me. Follow me here. Instead of them actually being featured in the film, because they may or may not actually appear. Again, there's only two cars. Two cars do not suggest much, if anything. They don't even suggest a city. So why would you just have two? You're going to put a bunch of computer-generated cars in there. And then why would you bother doing that? I don't know. But I think these two cars may have been there for a different reason. And while they may or may not appear in the film, here's what it is. I'll remind you that I told you the first car was, or not first car, one of the cars is the 1982 Pontiac Trans Am. Well, Richard Bachman, a.k.a. Stephen King, his novel, The Running Man, upon which both of these films are based, came out in 1982. Coincidence? Read the book. And also, you may then, I'm already leaping ahead, imagine what I'm going to say next, is that the 1987 Lotus Esprit Turbo, the other car seen on the set, came out the same year as the original film adaptation starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, therefore, a kind viewer, I suggest to you, these may or may not be in the movie, I don't know. But they're either a note, sort of an homage for us fans to appreciate, maybe even secretly or subtly, or maybe for the audience members eventually, if these are actually seen in the movie, to the original source material, because this is a reboot/remake of the original film and novel.